Howdy, y'all. Jackson here at the Jerk Studios, and welcome to another episode of Outside the Hash. Again, a solo episode. Uh, Nate is busy and Kyle is sick, so gonna be a quick episode because I didn't bother to do the video highlights because of that. So I just have the spreadsheet, and then and so on. So, anyways, in the fun leagues, the AAL switched on their schedule on me, so some games we picked didn't actually happen. So womp womp for me. I'm gonna make sure I have keep track of this for next week better. I'm gonna try to. And then the Northern California didn't seem to not play again this week. So I don't know what's going on with them. But anyways, Mississippi beat Carolina, so that was a pickup for Nate. The Michigan Avengers shut out the Pittsburgh Outlaws. That was a pickup for me. Georgia Indians handled the River Gators. Maryland War Eagles beat the Steel City Stampede, and then the Jersey Bearcats beat the New Jersey Roughnecks. So I did do SRS this week, so these have been updated accordingly. Things are all out of whack because of how varied it is at this point. So, also, I'm pretty sure the Peach State Cats are the only team left because the other team in that league got kicked out of their stadium. So, womp womp to them. So, active leagues, Jersey, Maryland are leading that side because they both won. Michigan is leading the North, and because the Elite did not play, and then the Georgia Indians are leading the South as they won their first week, and then the other ones split their games. NorCal, so they didn't change at all because there were no games. Yeah, and we've got a couple more non-league semi-pro teams that showed up because the NAL had some the exhibition games that count. So yeah. Anyway, the AIF. Well, actually, let me do this. Let me do my pick'em. I'm gonna go Georgia Indians. I will go War Eagles. I will go Steel City lost, right? But they played the War Eagles close. The Ohio Elite were not good in that league, so I will go Steel City. I'm going to go Jersey, but that could go either way, maybe. I'm pretty sure both those teams are pretty decent. State size kind of sucked, so we'll go Mississippi. I don't even know if that game will get played. This game almost certainly will get played, so I'm gonna go Peach State. Anyway, AIF. There was an upset. The Corville Chads, the Chaos, actually beat the Cedar Rapids River Kings 22-20 in double overtime. So that was a big shock, at least to me, because I would have assumed Cedar Rapids would have been the better team. They played West Michigan close this last week, and then somehow they come up and do that. So, anyway, so the next game is supposed to be Coralville versus West Michigan Gladiators. I'm just going to assume the pro team beats the semi-pro team. There. In the world of Major League Rugby, it was a bad week for our pick'ems. So New England beat San Diego pretty handily, which was a bit of shock, but Kyle believed in his boys, so he picked that up. Miami beat Houston, so that's a big womp womp for Nate. And also classic for Nate's team to just choke job. NOLA throttled Old Glory. That was a big shock to me, too. So, going 51 points. Utah finally rebounded, beating a pretty hot LA team. And then Chicago stays steady. They're winning pretty handily, and then they let some garbage time for Anthem. So that's why that score is a little bit closer than the game actually was. Anyways, I'm gonna go New England. I'm gonna go Chicago. Um, I'll still probably go Old Glory, even with Miami just winning. I think Houston will bounce back, and I'll go Utah here. Do. Okay, on to stats. So I guess standings too. I guess I can go over. So Chicago leads the East, and Houston leads the West. So no real changes there at the top, at least. So now on to stats. So Christian Leolafanu is your point leader still. Joey Mano still your try leader. Divian Rothu, your meters made. Anything clean breaks, even Hughes. Cross gain line, Tuifu. Tackles, Frank Lockhor. So there's your stat leaders. All right. On to NAL then. Uh, so there's a couple shocks here too. Idaho gets back-to-back wins. They beat Carolina kind of surprisingly, but sort of unsurprisingly because Carolina went back to they went back to a quarterback from like 2 weeks ago, I think. So they're not the one that had won them the games. So there's that, and then you had your two semi-pro teams. So both NAL teams handled those easily, and then the big, I guess I saw it coming, but the big shock is that the Omaha Beef end their regular season win streak against Beaumont 36-31 in in quite it was a weird situation because they had fired their coach and then they hired the old Carolina Cobras coach. This was his first game. So he's 0-1, and they fired with undefeated in regular season and postseason. But he did lose a preseason game, obviously. But yeah, so absolutely wild. They also went back to Lorenzo Brown. I don't know why they re-signed him after they cut him like 2 weeks ago. Surprise, surprise, he comes in and they lose. I don't know what happened to the guy that started last week. So who knows? Anyways, Beaumont leads the American at 2-0, and then with wins over Omaha and Sioux City, so the two championship appearing teams from last year. So that's pretty good indication they're going to be pretty good. And then you have Omaha leading over in the national only because they have one more win than Sioux City, which they'll be the deciding game this week because they will play each other. So Beaumont versus Columbus. I guess Beaumont is hot right now, so we'll go Beaumont, even though I like Columbus a lot. But I'm gonna go Colorado. I'm gonna go Sioux City, and then I will go through it. Let's go Wheeling. They beat Carolina last time they played, and now they're home. So let me pull up the stat leaders. So Giovanni Sanders, passing leader. He's also their touchdown leader. Just kind of shocking to be honest, but they've improved. James Summer. Oh yeah, James Summer. That's the Carolina quarterback they've been playing, and I don't know why he didn't play this last week. I don't know, maybe he doesn't travel or something. But yeah, so he didn't play this week. So still leading the league in rushing. Grant Russell, your touchdown leader. Joshua Hollins is your rushing leader. He also didn't play, so I don't know why he didn't play. Kyler Henson, your receiving leader. That's not surprising. He's pretty good. He crossed all stats. Then I'm not sure how updated these. Isaiah Gandy, 23 tackles, Sam Hammond, 5 sacks, and Charles Reed with 4 interceptions. Alrighty, Now we can go on to the AF1. Good week for me. Good week for everybody, pretty much, because it was a could have been a toss up for Billings versus Albany, depending on if you really thought if Albany was as stacked as they were. Luckily, I had faith in my boys, so I went 3-0 this week. Uh, Southwest Kansas kind of scraped by a bad Salina team, and then Corpus Christi easily handles a bad Washington team. So I will go Nashville. I will go. Both teams these suck. Yeah, I'll go Salina finally gets their win. I'll go Corpus Christi, and then Albany will win back-to-back weeks. So yeah, Albany leads your league. Corpus Christi at 2 undefeated. I think they play in not following week 7. So that should be a good game. Or maybe it won't be. Maybe Albany will be so much better than them, and it's not even fair. But yeah, we go to AF1 stats. So Jalen Morton is your yardage leader. Dalton Cole is your yards per game leader, and Castanova is your touchdown leader by quite a wide margin there. 7 touchdowns. So Castanova continuing to prove that he's a very good indoor quarterback. At this point, somebody in the UFL should probably just sign him. Quarterback play. I don't understand how the quarterback play in the UFL can be so bad when I'm so impressed by the quarterback play in like the IFL. It's so wild, but it is a different game. But yeah, Jalen Morton, 221 rushing yards, and he leads all rushing stats. Demarius Washington receiving, Dwayne Brown obviously with the touchdowns because Albany, but Darius Prince too, 5 touchdowns for him, giving Fred yards game. That's kind of the team stats. Michael Lawson 23 tackles, Amani Peoples 4 sacks, and Isaiah McFarland was 4 interceptions. Alrighty. Yep. Okay. On to the Australian football. So, very good week for me. I missed one game by 30 points, so not like it was a close game. Everybody else did good. They both only missed 2 games, so Kyle believing in the Swans for some reason, and you can't feel bad for Nate believing in his Saints. So Uh, so Brisbane, Suns, Giants, Magpies, Hawks, Cats, Crows, and Dockers are in the top 8, so they would be in the postseason right now. But still a lot of football to play. I will still go Brisbane over my Magpies, but I do like my Pies. We'll go Carlton. We'll go Eston. We'll go Fremantle. We'll go. That should be a good game. They're both in there, right? Adelaide. I think Adelaide is slightly better. So yeah, so I'll go Adelaide then. Um, yeah, Gold Coast is way better. They're top league. Sydney versus yeah, that's close. So I'm not gonna believe in Sydney until they show that they can play football again. I believe Western is up there. I think Kilda though. I'll believe in St. Kilda for Nate there, and then I will go Geelong there. So there is that. On to the AFL stats. Zach Merritt is your fantasy points. Ben King is your goals. Zach Merritt disposals. Anthony Camonte is your marks. Tom Atkins tackle leader. Caleb Sorong clearance leader. Alrighty. On to the IFL. So once again, it was a pretty good week for everybody, especially for Nate, who went perfect, 8-0. So good for him. Definitely, I believe, or 7-0. I think that might have shifted him from last to first, honestly, or maybe he was already in first. 14, 13. I think it might have, or at least it bumped him up a spot. The Green Bay beat Tulsa. I believe that was an overtime game, 74-68. San Diego bounced back to beat Vegas, 35-27. Massachusetts eked out against Fisher, so I think so that bounces them back to that bounces them their first win of the season, and first loss for Fisher. That's the first loss in franchise history. They didn't have the stats up yet for that game for some reason, so that was kind of disappointing. Quad City easily handles Iowa. Jacksonville, kind of eked by Tucson. Perhaps that was comes from like, cause Jacksonville should be much better than Tucson, more than 7 points, but maybe that was just a travel thing. Bay Area handles Northern Arizona 50-28, and then Arizona beats San Antonio 63-55. So there's that. So Quad City leads the East. Jacksonville right behind them at also undefeated 3-0, and then Arizona over in the West also at undefeated 3-0. Arizona's so cracked. I'm gonna go Jacksonville there. I'm gonna go Fisher. I am going to go. That could be a good game. There really only 4 games. Okay, evidently there is. Um, let's go Tulsa, and then we'll go Tucson. I'm not super believing in either one of those teams right now. That's kind of a tank bowl, to be honest. Who are our stat leaders? Max Baylor is your passing leader. 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So good start of the season for him, statistically. Jaya Wright is your rushing leader. Okay. Receiving leader is Quian Williams. Fabian McCludge is it too, but I believe he just signed into a UFL team, so he will be gone for the foreseeable future. So, shout out to him. Ernesto Locoyo, perfect so far. Any big things? Not really. Not really, not really. Alrighty. And then that gets us to the UFL. Everybody went 2-2 except for Kyle, who went 1-3. So, Birmingham with a game-winning drive by Matt Corral, who is not good at all so far in either of his UFL seasons. So Birmingham desperately needs to find an actual quarterback that can function because Magoo was hurt. They do have Cookis. Just put in Cookis. Maybe sign another guy. Sign Sam Castanova. Let's see what happens. Um, Houston beats Memphis. They held off Memphis in the last minute because I believe Memphis scored at the end but couldn't get the conversion. Michigan holds off San Antonio, and then DC won the Battle of Undefeated in St. Louis 27-15. So good for them. I'm gonna go Michigan over Memphis. I'm gonna go St. Louis over Arlington. Birmingham over Houston, and we will go DC over San Antonio. Easy week for me. I actually get to pick games for real because I don't have to favor the USFL. How are our stat leaders going? Total yards, Caleb Ballage for Arlington is your rushing leader. Jordan Tamu is the passing leader, though he is under 50% completion percentage. So it's honestly kind of impressive to be 3 weeks in under 50% but leading the league in passing yards. So when he does connect, big things happen. Receiving leader is Jonathan Adams. Ty Scott, who unfortunately is on IR because I think he broke his hand or broke his arm. So that's a big hit for DC. Kicking, pretty decent so far for everybody. Especially Blankenship, perfect on the season so far. With the what third tie for third most attempts. Yeah, I don't know if there's really anything else to go over. Unfortunately, I can't do losing money with Jackson this week because my brother's Ethernet cable stopped working, so he had to steal my Wi-Fi adapter, and my Wi-Fi adapter is what allows the website to ping my location, so it can't acknowledge the fact that I'm in the right state right now, which is kind of disappointing. We did win, though, so money, money. Uh, I don't really have any closing things to say, unfortunately. I guess I can go read my Operation Sports story thing that's starting for the National Arena Football League, where the 2007 season, the players went on strike and they're playing arena football instead of the NFL. So, uh, week one will be hosted this week, but the draft I just posted the draft this last Monday, so you can go see what the teams look like, which I think will be pretty fun, at least for me. I don't know how well it will translate to YouTube content, but it's an interesting experiment for me. So, fun for me. That's what the point of all this is, anyways, is for me to be having fun with my friends, but unfortunately they didn't show up this week, so it's me having fun by myself. So, I will see you all next week, hopefully with at least one other person. So, talk to y'all later.